Hello lovely people and welcome back to my channel. The Christmas season is upon us, so a lot of us have already decorated, as you can see, and a lot of us still have to decorate, as you can't see the rest of my flat. So let's talk about a more sustainable Christmas and how we can use more sustainable materials in order to make decorations. So I'm not personally going home for Christmas this year because of what's going on in the world, which means that this is the first Christmas which I'm going to spend alone, aka outside of my family home. So for this reason I want to make this apartment look Christmassy, I want to make it look homey, I want to make it look nice in general so that I don't feel alone, I don't feel far from home, you know, so that I can make a home here. So living in Bulgaria and the UK, I know that Christmases in both countries are so different. One example is that Bulgarian people are Orthodox Christians, whereas UK people are mostly Catholics, which means that the main kind of difference in Christmas is that in Bulgaria we celebrate it on Christmas Eve, which is the 24th of December, whereas in the UK you celebrate it on the 25th. So I don't think people do much on the 24th, but basically in Bulgaria the 24th is the most important time at Christmas. And the other huge difference is that Bulgarian people go vegan for Christmas, and actually even 40 or some 45 days before Christmas, all, you know, religious Orthodox people have to go vegan before Christmas. So that's a huge difference to the UK, where you eat this whole huge feast of like turkey and pork and like all the different meats and cheeses and crackers and whatever. And the other thing I've noticed from talking to many of my British friends is that they get all dressed up like really formally on Christmas dinner. Me and my family back in Bulgaria, we just put some like almost like pajamas on, and the only like formal thing that we do is my mom buys us like new socks every year, so we always put on new socks on Christmas Eve. But one of the biggest similarities is actually how much trash we can generate over Christmas. I think in Bulgaria there's much less trash, but whereas here in the UK, where capitalism is so much more embedded within the culture, I think, yeah, there's a lot more trash here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a few tips on how to have a more sustainable Christmas. Tip number one, the wrapping. In Bulgaria, I don't know many people that wrap their presents. I mean, my mom never wrapped our presents for us. She just left them under the Christmas tree. So it was never like a huge thing to have presents wrapped. It was always like a waste. And my parents, I don't think they ever bought wrapping. I started like wrapping my presents when I moved here and I wanted to give my partner some presents, or I wanted to give my parents back home presents, so I started wrapping them. But I always used like this brown paper which is recyclable, so it's like the lesser evil. So I think if you still want to wrap your presents, you can use this kind of brown paper which is recyclable. Never ever use those like gorgeous looking Christmassy wrapping papers, because they're always covered in this plastic coating which makes them non-recyclable. It's just impossible. And oh, it just pains me when I see so much wrapping just wasted, like literally the day after. It's a waste. And the other thing you can also do is just wrap them in some like cloth, so you know your family or your children, they can just unwrap the cloth instead of wrapping it. But then if you do want that feeling of like unwrapping and tearing into paper, just use the brown paper, and then you can decorate it with some like leaves or some branches, or you know, or you can just draw something on them. Who knows? Be creative. Tip number two, don't overbuy. I remember, oh my god, the first time I used to work in this bar, and this woman, she had like a 2-year-old child, and she showed me a photo. Her Christmas tree was like up to the ceiling kind of thing, and her presents were so many for her 1 2-year-old daughter. You couldn't see the Christmas tree. there were so many just stacked one above the other. It's insane. And this child probably doesn't give a damn because she was 2 years old, for crying out loud. So if you want to be a bit more sustainable this Christmas, you can try to buy less. Tip number 3, decorations. Most of the time we buy a lot of plastic decorations or glass decorations that come in plastic, or the garlands or the Christmas lights. Don't judge these because I've had these for like 3 years. In general, if you use them over and over again, yeah, it's not that bad. You know, they're not that bad for the environment. But if you're, you know, throwing them away every year or whatever, I don't know anybody who does that, but if you have been, just don't. Or try to make some at home. And in fact, I just did a video 2 weeks ago about how to make your own Christmas decorations, and I'm just gonna put it right here for you to see it as well. It's a nice thing that you can do with your family. You can make it a new tradition to make Christmas decorations each year, and you can make those from like twigs and branches and, you know, oranges, you know, whatever you like really. Just be creative. Or if you're not creative, just go on Pinterest. Pinterest has everything. Tip number 4, the Christmas tree. So obviously if you already have a plastic Christmas tree, just use it. Don't throw it away. If you've been getting, you know, chopped Christmas trees, I don't know actually which is better, because there is a huge Christmas tree market and a lot of trees are actually planted just so they can be chopped and sold over Christmas. So I'm not sure exactly which one is better. I mean, I would always prefer to use to get like a reusable one in some sense. So I think the best out of all of the options is to get one which is in a pot and you can take care of it throughout the year and just decorate it over Christmas. I think that would be the best case scenario. But also, you don't have to have a Christmas tree. You can just decorate your gorgeous plants like this. I think I've put some pine cones on my plants already. But yeah, you don't have to have a Christmas tree. You can be unconventional if you want. I mean, I have some pine cones on my ivy right here. There you go. So yeah, you don't have to have a tree. Tip number 5, ditch the plastic. Honestly, if you are one of those people who has loads of family over for Christmas and you absolutely have to use plastic or paper plates, try to use compostable ones and try to get the ones that are not covered in plastic coating. Or the best case scenario would be just to use your plates, which you already have. But if you don't have that many plates and you have loads of family over Christmas, even though coronavirus, I don't know if that's allowed, just try to use the plates which you already have at home. These are my tips, 5 tips for a more sustainable Christmas. If I've forgotten to mention something, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I would love to know what you're doing to make your Christmas a bit more sustainable. Thank you for watching this video and for being here with me. Again, if you have something to say, I'm always here to chat. So if you want to talk to me in the comments below, or if you want to DM me on Instagram, I'm always here to talk, and I love talking about sustainability. So go ahead, send me a message. I will always find time to respond, and I will see you in the next video, which will be up probably next week on Tuesday. So until then, bye!